So yesterday we have seen how do we create a database schema and using GUI. Today we are going to create using our SQL statement. See here, if you want to create or replace database example. Customer database. So if see here, always if you have a multiple SQL statements in this worksheet, always if you have a multiple worksheets in this, always you have multiple worksheets, multiple SQL statements in this worksheet. Those multiple SQL statements will be ended with semicolon, should be ended with semicolon, so that if multiple SQL statements are ended with semicolon, then you can execute the particular SQL statement by placing end of the SQL statement and then execute that one. You no need to select it. Either you can select the particular SQL statements, or you can place the cursor end of your SQL statements if statements are ended properly with the semicolon. See now, I have created one database. I have created this Snowflake customer database. This is customer database. I mentioned yesterday, whenever we create a database, new database, default schema will be created. Default schemas, public and information schema. Now I will create one new schema. Customer schema. Create replace schema, customer schema. I mentioned if you have a multiple SQL statements in single worksheet, you want to execute particular SQL statements. If properly all those SQLs are ended with the semicolon, then you can place end of your SQL and then execute that this one. See your schema, customer schema successfully created. Now see here. Customer schema is created. Customer schema is created here. That's how you can execute your SQL statement. Either you can select the SQL statement or place end of the SQL statement. Place your cursor end of the SQL statement. Now suppose if you want to create a table. You know, I'm going to create this table. Just I will place cursor end of the SQL statement and then I will execute it. Then refresh this. This is customer. This is customer. Suppose insert into a customer table values 1, Ram. Have you tried to execute any SQL statement for me already? Have you tried?
Yeah, tried the select statement.
Correction, but not all these things, right?
Yeah. Created the database only by the GUI, not by command.
Yeah. See, I'm executing this select statement. Select customer ID and then customer name. So this is how do we create the some basics? How do we execute some basic SQL and you both are having SQL hours, right, guys? You have SQL hours, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. Now I'm using current database as a customer database. I'm using current database as a customer database, but I want to read the object. I want to read the object from this database, and then this schema,
Mhm.
this table.
Yeah.
I want to read this supplier table from this snowflake underscore sample underscore data database. TPCH underscore SF1 is the schema, and then supplier is the table. I want to read from this uh, database. How do you read? I am under current database is a customer database.
Yeah. So we use the aliases like select asterisk from field, database name dot schema name dot table name.
Super. Database name, schema name, and then table name. So so now if you execute this, then you can able to read the data from other database as well. Here from one database to other database. This can be called as a fully qualified name. Fully qualified name. It has three parts. This is database name. This schema name. This is table name. So I can say this is object name. This part is object name. So what are the objects are available in the Snowflake is these are the objects are available. See, table, view, materialist view, stays, base, pipe and then user defined function, stored procedure, stream, tasks, sequence, etc. Now, always, 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 while writing here your object names in the Snowflake, while writing here object names in the Snowflake, object names in the Snowflake. You need to not only in a Snowflake, wherever in the database. Wherever in the database. Okay, one minute. Always you need to use fully qualified name only. Always you need to use fully qualified name only. First part is database name, second part is schema name, third part is object name. Object name is anything, either a pipe, either a stays, either streams, task, anything. Now here I have mentioned table name here. So that this is the table name. Like that, always you need to make a practice. Always you need to make a practice. You need to make a practice to use the fully qualified names. What is fully qualified names, guys? Till now, have I shared my screen or not, guys?
Yeah, you have shared.
Shared. So what is fully qualified name?
So it is a database name dot schema name dot object name.
Yeah. So this is a fully always you need to make a practice to write a fully qualified names. Even in my session also, I am using fully qualified name in all the cases. Whatever the objects I am using, if I am using a view, I will use a fully qualified name. If I am using a stored procedure name, I am using a stored procedure. If I am using a user-defined function, I am using a user-defined function. If I am using a snow pipe, I am using a fully qualified name. If I am using a view, then I am using a fully qualified name. Fine.
Yeah.
So always we need to make habituate. Always we need to make habituate to write fully qualified names only. Fine, guys.
Sir, I have one question.
Sure.
So is there any specific reason behind it, or yeah, it's a good practice of using?
I will explain you. I will explain you for your question. Now you just guess why we are going to write this fully qualified name. I will explain you thoroughly. There is a reason behind. There is a story behind this. Tell me any guessings. Guys.
I think if we want to join the multiple databases and schema and tables, then if we define these database in full qualified name, then it will be easy.
Okay. Any other reason?
I think readability increases if there are some multiple tables and databases are there. So if
Suppose I will tell you. See, in this database now I have opened in this database snowflake underscore sample underscore data. In this schema tpcs underscore sql, I have a table called customer table here. Customer table. But even I have created the customer table in customer database. Now, if you don't mention any fully qualified name, select star from customer table. Then you have selected this customer database. Then from which table this table is going to read? from which database this table is going to read? Tell me, guys. Have you got my question? Guys, have you got my question?
Yes, yes.
See, I have a customer table in a customer database. First thing, I have another customer table in a Snowflake sample database. Now, I am under a current database, customer database. If I write a select star from customer table, I am asking you from which database this table is going to read.
It will read from the customer database.
Customer database, that is good. Now, my question is, the same table is available in the Snowflake underscore sample underscore data. I want to read the customer table from other database. Then what do you need? What you will do?
I have to define the full qualifier name like database schema and
Yeah. Now you are clear why we are using this fully qualifier name, Shashwat?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
And second thing is, as you mentioned, readability. It should be always clear. See, if you are joining a tables from the other database, then always you need to mention fully qualified name, so that, see, you know, you are a developer, you have created the tables, you know very well that particular table is available in the database, in particular database. You left the project and I joined into your place. Then I am going to read your code. If you don't mention fully qualified names, then it will take time for me to understand the code, right, guys?
Yeah, correct.
Because I need to search this table is available in which database. This table, suppose if you implemented a SQL code and then you joined 20 tables in the SQL code, but you have 5 databases. From the 5 databases, you are accessing the tables. But if you don't mention a fully qualified name, you developed the code, you know very well that these tables are available in the particular database, so that you have mentioned the directly table name, you don't mention database names. But other developer comes into your project, if he is trying to read the data from, if he tries to understand your code, then he will get the confusion. This table is from which database? In this scenario, he need to go into the each database and then check whether this table is available in this database or not. So for him, it is a time-taking process. Instead of that, if you write the fully qualified name, then it will be useful for you guys, and then it will be useful for everyone. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So always you need to habituate. Always you need to habituate to write the fully qualified names. Make sense or not? Why we are going to use the fully qualified names?
Yes.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Guys, share me your email ID here. I'm going to share all the content whatever we have discussed so far. Share me your. For now, I'm stopping the session. I have a little bit work today. I have to go to office. I have a meeting at 9 o'clock, so that I need to finish little bit early. Tomorrow we will correct. Share me your email IDs by after some time. I'm going to share all the content whatever whatever we have covered so far. Share your email IDs, Casey.
Yeah, in chat.
Yeah. Kishwar, yeah. I will share the content after some time, not now. Oh, I have to rush to the office. I'm stopping the session for now. Tomorrow we will join at 7 a.m. guys. We'll continue. Is that fine?
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We will meet tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Bye bye.